that M&M flavor to it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Just gotta write some lyrics for it. I'm afraid if I ever came up with a rap, it'd be that as good as the Super Bowl shuffle.
Remember when WWF, they had one.
Land of 1,000 dances.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome, and what? Welcome to the Three Great Nerds. All right, we're here again, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, ready to talk about all the happiness that keeps us going every day. Because, you know, we're the most jolly people going on, I guess. Look at it.
I think I'm happy because I'm the older I get, I just don't give a shit, really. I'm just like, whatever, you guys do your thing. I'll be here playing a video game.
Yeah. Can't get stressed over the small stuff.
Yeah.
No.
I'm just stressed out over gas and how goddamn hot it is.
Well, dude, you're in the land of like big mosquitoes and humidity.
Yeah, pretty much.
Land of the
pretty much.
I haven't seen a lot of mosquitoes lately. I think they're just like, F this, I'm out, and they're going to Louisiana.
It's too hot
for a lot of yellow flies. We had ticks. We had a lot of ticks. We had to get the dogs their tick medicine again.
Really?
Those little bastards. Yeah. They've been crazy in the backyard. Yeah.
Yep.
I get everything else in my backyard. Yeah.
I know.
Were you the one that hit the alligator with a shovel or a frying pan?
Oh, that was a crocodile. I think that was in Australia somewhere. That's pretty amazing. But there was actually I just saw on the news, I guess a guy down towards St. Pete was walking by water and an 11-foot gator come up and snagged his ass.
Really?
Yeah.
11 foot? Wow.
11 foot. That's a big boy right there.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a male. I think the males are a lot bigger. I think the females get that big, but you got to know, like you're in Florida.
Yeah.
You're in Florida. Pretty much, I would say every body of water is going to be a goddamn gator in it. You know, there was another article a few days before that somebody's dog, they're walking by the water and the gator came up, ate the dog. Like, don't blame the gator. Like, you're living in his house.
Yeah, the gator's doing what gators do.
I do love gator, though. I do love a gator. Oh, somebody's already got a question popping up. Go ahead, ask your question, Whisper.
Oh, who's talking? What up? I didn't even see it. Yes, you can ask a question. Of course, you can ask a question.
What question do you want to know?
We are here.
The three wise gray nerds.
We got almost 150 years of knowledge right here, ready to
I swear to God,
ready to help you out.
Is she going to ask us about our car? Like, when was your car warranty? Is this a trap?
Yeah. I've been waiting to get in touch with you about your car warranty.
Well, while she's typing, you know, we talk about some other interesting stuff. So on YouTube, I follow this guy named Jim Browning. I think he's Scottish or Welsh. Like, I'm trying to figure out his accent, but he's a computer hacker, and he reverse hacks into the scammers that try to call us and you know, usually scam our grandparents.
Ooh, that's nice.
Right? So he gets in there through their IP address somehow. He doesn't really tell anybody, but now he has control of their cameras. He can see what's going on. So he teamed up with Trilogy Media. It's another one. And these guys actually went to this guy's house. So they were laundering money. They went to this poor old guy's house who gave up his social security number to this guy out in Bangladesh somewhere. The guy in Bangladesh started a business in the United States so he could launder money. So the money goes through that LLC in the United States, and then from there it gets shifted out to Bangladesh to this scammer.
Really?
Yep. So they went to this guy. The guy had no idea a business was opened up in his name. And then they flew out to freaking India to go confront this guy, but they found out that the police raided his house and didn't know he was that now. But yeah, if you guys ever want to watch, it's interesting. Make your grandparents watch it so they know what not to fall for. Because I tell you, if somebody calls you and says, "Hey, you know, you can pay us, but you got to go to freaking Walmart and get a gift card for $500," and then tell me what the number is, that's not legit. That's not legit.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So what's the question? What she asked? Is it crazy for me to think Kenobi as the only canon since Episode 3? Is it crazy to think of Disney as almost fan fiction when it comes to spin-offs and sequels? No, you're not crazy at all. Whisper freaking nailed it. It does feel like fan fiction.
Yeah.
I think on that note, we can just we'll start talking about Obi-Wan, right?
We're not. No, we can't go to Obi-Wan first. Can't do that
hold on.
First.
Knock it out.
Can't do
but
that.
Yeah, you good question. We're gonna talk about Obi-Wan, but
we're gonna get to Obi-Wan. We're definitely gonna get to it. Definitely gonna. It
does feel like fan fiction.
But let me do my typical spill. Welcome, Three Great Nerds. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, join in this party. We're gonna have a little bit of fun today. I always say it. I just want to add in that we have 71 subscribers now on YouTube. We got over 220 that's on Facebook. We're trying to get like that on Instagram. I mean, I don't know how many we have on Twitter. I haven't been watching. But
Twitter?
Yeah. 15 right now.
we're growing little by little. I think when we hit 100, it's going to like explode.
I think if we just do a podcast, the three of us shirtless, it's going to bring in a lot. I'd be like, oh my God, it's like Chip and Dale's. people throwing dollars at the screen.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. No, we don't want none of that. We don't want.
All right, so like and subscribe if you don't want us to do that.
Yeah, that's a threat. That's scary. But let's go ahead and move in on this fun, man. We're gonna have a little bit of fun today, and let me move that out the way. And I don't want to jump into Kenobi yet because we'll get there. But let's start off first. We had Ms. Marvel. The Episode 3 came out. It's not so much I can say about it. I mean, Feige's writing this, or one of the main people behind it. I like Feige. The story to me is decent. It's not a bad story. I mean, it's not too much I can say about it. I mean, I honestly still think that this is not really made for a darn near half a century-year-old dude like myself that's follically challenged. But I think this is more for my daughter and her teenage friends type thing. I think there's kind of something kind of neat for them. Because it is a lot still like that show Never Have I Ever. And other than that, I mean, like I said, I think Feige is coming up with a difference. It's a good. I think it's a half decent story. I
think it's very creative.
Yeah,
but it's just not written like when they do like Thor and Iron Man and the big Marvels. They want to scan across the whole age range, right? But for Miss Marvel, I think it's more for the younger generation. I'm watching it because I kind of want to see what's going to end up. Now, here's a question I want to ask you. Like her friend, oh man, I should write notes. I forgot my notes with the boy, the one that's going to Caltech.
Oh, his name just slipped my mind as soon as you said that. That's
like
scary.
Kramer or something like that.
No, right? It's like Jackson or dog it.
We know you're talking about.
Look it up. Yeah, I know you're talking about though. Yeah, little pasty kid.
The one. Yeah, the one nice guy in the show.
But
do you think? Okay, ready?
Yeah,
he's future Doctor Doom because that's where Doctor Doom. And here's another good tidbit: that guy that's playing him was the second runner-up to Spider-Man.
Really?
Yep. He auditioned for Spider-Man, and then of course he didn't get it. So, of course, they hook him up. But you think that guy can be Doctor Doom? Because I think he's going to get pissed off because Miss Marvel's totally keeping him in the friend zone. Like every time he's
friend zone
something, he is 100%. And that's gonna He's gonna get mad. He's gonna go to Caltech.
Be smart.
Be smart. Like he's already smart now. These kids are smart.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if I don't think he'll be Doctor Doom. I don't think if they make him Doctor Doom, it's too early. It's too early. He's not. I mean, they don't have the story developed in order to get Doctor Doom in it yet.
They could have planted that seed early, you know.
I don't know. They could have.
Like he's in the universe now, so they might not bring it up on this show, but it could be something down the road, right? So maybe when Fantastic Four comes out.
Well, the beauty that I like with Feige is the fact that he has a little bit of forethought. So I like that.
He does. And you know what? He uses the comic books. There's a lot of referencing in the comic. He's not winging it.
Yeah.
Like some people.
Yeah, we got Whisper here with a lot of different comments here.
Thanks for joining, Whisper.
Yeah, awesome. We thank you for joining. We like this. We love the back and forth and the comments and the questions, and makes us feel kind of good, like somebody's out there. But yeah, what is it? Converging is lazy to bring up all the Spider-Man back together rather than writing.
I don't think it was. I thought it was interesting because, look at the direction Marvel was going in with the storytelling, right? Because you had the multiverse. And that opened up to the Doctor Strange movie. And it was cool because we know there's multiple things. And they touched on it earlier with the Into the Spider-Verse animated movie.
Yeah. And they touched on it in the Spider-Man before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he made comment about remember they said something about 616 universe and stuff like that when we didn't know anything about that. Well, we did, obviously. But
yeah, like I don't think it was lazy. I think they did a really good job with bringing them back, and it was good fan service. I mean, we all like the what do you call them? The member berries. Remember?
Yeah, member berries.
But I thought they did it. It was very, very respectful bringing them back like that.
Yeah, it was just enough nostalgia to get you in it, but it was not overly cheesy.
Yeah.
There's a level of nostalgia where you can get where it's just like, oh dude, it's just, you're doing too much. But it was just enough.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it was lazy. I think it was well done. Because it could have been worse. Oh God, it could have been worse. It could have been Matrix.
Yeah, I guess I guess there's a fine line when you're writing something that's bringing back something from nostalgia, but it should go smooth. I felt that Spider-Man was smooth.
Yeah, like Top Gun.
And it was good. It was you reference it and you continue it from there.
Yeah,
I look at writing like any time travel movie. Like they always say, you go back in time, and you got if you do anything, if you squish a bee, you ruin it. So I think with Star Wars, with Obi-Wan, they went back in time, they squished the bug somewhere and ruined the whole timeline. And now Biff has the book and he's making loads of money in the future.
But they say, gotcha. But about the kids, have no idea about the nostalgia factor for us. How do they perceive that movie with all the Spider-Man and villains from older movies? Well, I think it's a thing to kind of promote them to make them want to see those older movies.
Yeah. Hopefully you got when my daughter was little, even now, I brought her up watching the classics. And then we watched the original Spider-Man, right, with Toby, and then the Amazing Spider-Man. So you got to see it. I mean, if you have it, like what I recommend, if you go into a movie like that, I would say, okay, before, and the movie's coming out, and there's going to be a crossover. It's like, well, we go catch up on these other flicks. I mean, really, it's only 3 for the original ones that Sam Raimi did, and then the other 2 for Amazing Spider-Man. So just 5 movies.
Yeah. And honestly, if you catch the first 2, don't look at the third of the original Spider-Man, because I can't take this no more.
You have to watch that. I disagree.
We don't like that.
You have to watch the good and the bad because people make a lot of memes based off that. And you got to know why is that? And then when you watch it, it makes sense. It's like,
Oh my God, that was terrible.
like
Terrible.
Sam Raimi did not want to make any more Spider-Mans.
Oh, that was terrible. That was terrible. That was terrible. Too many. It was too many people in that movie. Way too many.
Yeah.
But I like the first two. I actually did like the first two.
Yeah, I'm like that's the same thing with Ms. Marvel. I think it's an original story.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think they're pushing the Muslim or religion too much.
No, she just happens to be
I think
Muslim.
it's part of her
I don't
life.
see it. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, I see it as a part of her life. It's I like the fact that they walked into the mosque. Damage Control walked in the mosque with their shoes on, and they did the whole thing talking to him. And then afterwards, he said, "Next time you come in here, take off your shoes."
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, all right, yeah, they're not respectful. They don't know.
And that was kind of a sensitive topic to bring up because
that
the government does watch freaking mosques, and being a neutral, like I'm outside, I'm like, okay, well, I kind of agree with both sides here. I can't say anything.
Yeah. So like I said, I mean, I do think the story is original. I think it's pretty decent. I mean, like I said, like we're reiterating, I think overall it's not made for an old dude like me. I think they've really directed this more for teenagers, like my daughter or somebody like that. I think this really puts it right in her wheelhouse.
Now here's a question.
Yeah.
Based now because it's in the current Marvel timeline. Like if it was made before Endgame, could she have fallen in? Could she have been mentored by Iron Man or Thor? Like if this happened before Thor, the whole Endgame scenario,
Mm-hmm.
and she was doing it, like Iron Man would have said, "Well, let me go." Tony Stark could have checked, like, "Hey, what's going on here?"
She's mentored by Captain Marvel. In the comics, she is.
Yeah, I was gonna say that in the comics, she's mentored by Captain Marvel.
Do you think Captain Marvel's going to show up at the end?
I don't know. I think it'd be neat. And let me add in, I am happy because I've been fighting to get Facebook the link onto this thing. And we just got a high guys from a Facebook user. So thank you, Facebook user, for joining.
It doesn't show you, like if you're signed in on YouTube, it'll show your name. But you're just a random Facebook user.
Yeah, Facebook user, it'll just say Facebook.
Who is it?
But that's why I have Facebook open on my side, because I like to kind of chime in and take a look. But I'm happy. This makes me feel good.
Are you the Facebook user?
No.
Are you Whisper?
No, I'm not Whisper. I don't whisper. I'm loud. And I'm sweating. It's hot in this office.
She's asking the best question. She's now my number one fan on here.
Yes, Whisper has, and I like the interaction. I really do. I think it's all.
That's my aunt.
Yeah. Hi, auntie, whatever. I mean, I don't know what people say, but how you doing? All right, but let's move on. So like I said, overall, I think the story is pretty decent. I'll keep watching just because I think, keeps us involved in something new. I like the fact that Feige's involved in it, and I like he has forethought and actually kind of puts things together. I saw that this last episode they added in the Jinn, or the clandestines? That's what they are.
Yeah. Oh, I knew those people were going to totally turn on her.
I thought that was kind of neat that that was added in, and now we got a new element to the story, and it's building. So let's see how it moves, because lately we've been fizzling out at the end of some of these stories. But
they tend to drag it
overall,
out sometimes. They tend to really, like, you get the first couple episodes, like bam, and then everything in the middle just kind of like they run it short on peanut butter, and you just put a little bit on the bread, kind of taste it, And then the last episode, mom just went to the grocery store and got some peanut butter. You're like, laying it on thick.
Yeah, so like I said, I think it's a pretty decent story, at least.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the thing that
Has Tad
we all
watched
want
it?
to talk about.
Tad, do you watch Miss Marvel at all?
Nope.
No.
I
No.
watched the first episode. I'm not the target audience, so I'm not watching it. I mean, I thought it was good. The people I've talked to thought it was good, but it's not for me.
Very
Okay.
well. Very well. All right, Obi-Wan Kenobi full review. So, if you guys caught our show a couple days ago, we reported on the last episode. So now we're just
Yes.
going to look at it from beginning to
Start to
end.
finish. And I'll finally give you my grade. How about that? You've been looking for my grade. I'll finally give you my grade.
I know everybody's
at the
been
end.
waiting. They've been waiting.
I know. There'll be a drum roll at the end. The great reveal. We'll get the envelope out. Open up the envelope.
My overall opinion is still there's just a lot of plot holes and a lot of questions that I think what they're lacking is you got to have a Q&A. Somebody's got a QA that shit. Quality insurance, the story, right?
Yes.
Like I understand, like we want fresh Star Wars stories. Like I do. I get it. I said, but like you could take Reva's story, which I think is an interesting story, like somebody who was at the Jedi Academy who survived as a child and where they are now. I thought of that, episode 3. I was thinking about that. Like, what happens if a kid survives? What happens to a kid? Like her story isn't bad. Her character and the acting was freaking terrible. I would have just taken that out and just kind of come up with something on its own from there. But I think it lost focus on what we wanted. It's about Obi-Wan Kenobi and it's about Luke Skywalker. And some of like little things that I saw, when I talked about it the other day when all the rocks fell on him and he's trying to like build up his force. He has a flashback and it's all Leia and the one scene of Luke doing the freaking spaceship driving on top of the house. That's not what it should have been. That just you could have done a Leia story without Obi-Wan. You could have done, okay, this is just me. This is how I would have done it. Had a separate Reva story with her as a kid escaping. I don't know how she trained herself. Maybe she just figured it out or found a book. She Googled it on the Empire Network. I don't know.
She like Mr. Miyagi. She learned karate from books.
She could have been like, I'm Force strong. Yeah, I'm Force strong. And then ended up on Alderaan. And then she could have saved Leia. Like that could have been a whole different story without bringing Obi-Wan Kenobi's character into that part of Leia's life. Obi-Wan Kenobi having a major impact on Leia's life like that is not cool. Because she would even brought it up when like showed up at New Hope. Like you just watched New Hope the other day, right?
Yes, I did.
Do you think she would have said anything when she saw him get taken down by Darth Vader? Like, hey, is that... No,
she
didn't know him.
One, Vader would have said something about it since he was all involved in it. I think when she left the recording for R2-D2 in New Hope, she would have made some comment about that instead of saying, you helped General Kenobi, you helped my father out during the Clone Wars. She would have made reference to 10 years ago. Remember, you helped save me from the Inquisitor. Or she would have said something about that, but
yeah. So
yeah.
Again, the interaction with Leia, I think, is totally incorrect. And then, overall, like him leaving the planet to go help Leia when his job, like Bail Organa's job was to take care of Leia.
Yes,
you're like the leader of a whole goddamn planet. Like you got to have somebody else to help Leia. So now you make Obi-Wan Kenobi leave the planet that he's supposed to be babysitting Luke Skywalker to go save, and then that was crap. And then on top of that, he goes back to the planet, saves Luke, to leave again and go to Alderaan and say goodbye to Leia. Like, dude, stop leaving.
Well, remember, he didn't save Luke. He didn't save Luke. He didn't save Luke. She did. She came up crying, talking about I couldn't do it. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
with the magical spaceship that she got there before everybody else.
Yeah. How she got, I don't know. That, yeah.
And
So
it how's that? I don't know, man. It's just they tried too hard. Again, I think they used the Obi-Wan Kenobi IP to bump up a new character. You got a new Leia, who hopefully they wanted to take place as being a new baby Yoda. They got baby Leia, and you got Reva.
yeah.
It's and I think they even killed the Darth Vader character. And one of my biggest goddamn complaints of the whole season is during the whole season they didn't play one original Star Wars music. Like there's music for Tatooine. They never played it. There's music directly for Princess Leia. They didn't play it. The Imperial March.
Yeah.
They didn't play until the end
Which is,
when he was talking to the Emperor.
yeah. Yeah.
Like there's just specific things, and I just wish, instead of all these big name companies that are just taking I think they're making bots now to make Facebook groups, because I get more and more Facebook groups saying that was the best show ever. I saw one today, like, congratulations to Deborah Chow for making the best show ever on streaming service. Like this,
Yeah.
what? No. I
They
think
said
the
would
problem is, like, there is anybody that says no, stop. It's not a good idea.
so
What was say?
would it have been better to exclude Leia and Luke and make it something exclusive to Tatooine? And that is ironic that you make that comment, because there is a Kenobi book. I mean, I made reference to it, and it's on Tatooine. And the
When
book
did it come out?
the book came 4 years ago, something like that.
2018.
Yeah. The book is like 6 months after Order 66. It's something like that, or 3 months after Order 66. So it's like right after everything happened, and now he's trying to settle on Tatooine. The first 3 chapters or so it really doesn't have much Obi-Wan in it. In the first few chapters is really you really get introduced to the people in the town and how they normally operate and stuff like that. So it's kind of neat to see those characters in their day-to-day life, and running the general store. It's like a Western, because they have a general store and they have the cantina and stuff
It
like
kind of
that. So
is. You know what the book reminded me of? I don't know how old Whisper is, but back in the 80s we had Kung or TV show Kung Fu.
oh yeah,
Right? He was a former Kung Fu monk that was kicked out of the house, ended up coming to the United States, and then he just traveled, right? And
he traveled through the West. Yeah,
he was kind of like a Jedi, right? Without
yeah,
Jedi powers. He would show up, didn't really tell anybody what he was, and then you had the main story of how somebody's surviving in town, or they're getting attacked by the bad guys, and then he's kind of there to help. So that's very similar to what the Obi-Wan Kenobi book was.
yeah.
He saw
So
what was going on.
yeah,
Even that was a good story, because you got old girl running her bar and storekeep and rented
mhm,
cars, and then you got the guy that kind of liked her, who's kind of a dick, but he was trying to start that militia to fight against the Sand People,
mhm.
and getting people to pay money for him to do this, and find out that he's the actual asshole dressing up as Sandper, raiding these people's houses so they can pay him money for protection.
Yeah,
And then you
yeah,
kind of get a more in depth with the Sand People.
yeah. You start learning a little bit more about their, how they operate, and basically their lifestyle.
Yep.
Because you kind of feel sorry for them at the end of the Sand People. You kind of feel sorry for them.
You do.
Because
You do.
yeah. So I mean, it's a decent book as far as that is concerned. I mean, I kind of like how all of a sudden when you're introduced to Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's the Auburn beard stranger that helps save him, and then they spend the whole next chapter trying to figure out who he is. What Ben is it? We don't know.
Well,
Is
I did like it.
it?
I did like in the book. Like, I think they kind of hinted at why he was called. They called him Crazy Ben, because people would go by his house in the Junlands, and he's actually trying to meditate and talk to Qui-Gon Jinn, but he sounds like he's talking to himself because he's
Sound like
speaking
he's
out
talking
loud.
to himself. Yeah.
Hey, he's like, "Oh, Qui-Gon, you there, buddy? Come on, answer my calls. Stop sending me the voicemail."
Yeah, so it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat how he is the old weird hermit out in the out in the hills and just talks to himself. So
yeah,
that
that would have
aspect.
been. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say if they would have followed that aspect, you could have actually made a good story, and you never left Tatooine. You stayed on Tatooine the entire time. But
yeah,
we all
because he
know
took his job seriously to protect Luke.
Yeah. Yeah. And even in that, Owen Lars didn't like him. He still didn't like him. He didn't want to have anything to do with him. So, and then on top of it, top of it, what is it?
In the desert.
Qui-Gon's not answering him. So I mean it's like the same some of the aspects they use for this series, it's in that book, but it's just the direction they went is just completely different. So
yeah, like the character, the way, because he was still talking to he used his when he's trying to talk to Qui-Gon, it kind of as his journal, his audio journal. That was part of the story because he's still freaking upset about having to cut off Anakin's legs. He's still upset about the Jedi Order. He still has like PTSD, but it wasn't as bad. He wasn't as freaking whiny as he was in the movie. Like he's like, I don't want to do this because could bring attention to me, but on the other hand, like I need to help her out. And that girl that was running the shopkeep was crushing hard on Obi-Wan.
But yeah, so like I said, there is a story that goes into it where he doesn't leave Tatooine. That's all I'm saying. So you're at Whisper. You're absolutely correct. There's a story that's for that. Unfortunately, they didn't use that in the series. They completely went left with it. And honestly, I'm gonna add in my little 2 bits that what they did actually it added no help to New Hope at all. It didn't do anything there. We just got a chat thing and I have no idea what that is. So I'm gonna do something about that.
That's freaking spam.
Yeah, I'll do something about that. But yeah, the thing I didn't like was it had nothing to do with helping out or progressing the story for New Hope. It really didn't.
No. The other thing, really so when Luke was young, right? Because his one of his buddies, Hobbs, right? Hobbs was from Tatooine. Hobbs left early to go join the Imperial Academy to be a pilot, right? Like Hobbs, he went to the academy with Wedge and Tilly's, and they were both part of the Empire, flying TIE fighters. Luke wanted to go follow him to go and join the Imperial Academy. Now, that's original canon. With that in mind, do you think Luke would still join the Academy after being chased by a freaking half-trained Jedi with a red lightsaber?
Ben did a Jedi mind trick on them. You will not remember anything.
Well, you got to remember he hit his head. He never even saw her really. He ran,
running his ass off.
He ran, and then he hit his head, and that's it. He was out.
He was in the house long enough because she was fighting with Owen, and he was already like when she came into the garage, he was already freaking. I think that was a garage. He was already going through
the garage.
I don't know, or the cellar, or wherever they were. But he saw it.
Yeah, he might have.
Again, it's like simple things, right? Like Luke wanted to join the Empire. That was his goal. He wanted to be a pilot.
Well, he wanted off Tatooine, man. Anything to get you off. I don't like sand. It gets everywhere.
So you watch New Hope, right? What did he? Obi-Wan Kenobi asked Luke what he knows of his father, and Owen says basically his dad was a drug dealer because he used to fly freighters carrying spice. And Obi-Wan Kenobi's like, well, no, your dad was a great pilot, but he was he was a Jedi, and he was killed by Darth Vader. But Owen throwing him down some bullshit, like your dad was just a goddamn space truck driver.
Yeah, he was
He
trying
gave
to
him
just.
spice.
Owen didn't want to have anything to do with any of that stuff.
I don't
You could
blame him.
tell. You could tell he didn't want nothing. He didn't want nothing to do with nothing. You know.
See, that would even be a good story too. You could see Luke growing up and weird things happen because he's force sensitive. Like they would, if they usually catch force sensitive kids as babies.
True.
So when he's older, he's like learning to drive, or he starts flying. He said you start shooting womp rats from his T-17, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there were some things he noticed, like, hey, I can see stuff before it happens. Because
Yeah.
young Anakin was the same way because he was
Yep.
flying the pod racers.
The pod racing, and they said his reflexes are faster than anybody else out there.
Yeah, and it'd be a good story for the kids because uh, if you look at if you actually listen, there's the radio show they did for Star Wars, and it's in the book that they wrote for Star Wars. It takes place like the movie. Everybody's introducing it right when Princess Leia is getting captured, and right on Tatooine, and then you don't see Luke until the Jawas are selling them the droids, right?
Mm-hmm.
If in the radio show, in the comic book, and in the books, it starts with Luke going to Anchorhead, meeting some guys that he hung out with, and they're just real assholes to Luke. Like they're rich. Luke's just a poor ass water farmer. He gets excited because he's outside and he's looking up into the sky with his binoculars. And he can see the battle going on before, when they're trying to. He's like, "There's something going on, guys. Come out!" And they're like, "Luke, come on, dude. Enough. You're stupid, man. Go get your power converters and get out of here."
Yeah, get your power converters.
Dumbass.
Yeah, give us some water.
But that'd be cool to see Luke growing up, and of course Tatooine. There's so much stuff with Tatooine. Like everybody hates, why do we always go back to Tatooine? So what? Does it matter? Right?
It's all
There's so much
in
stuff
how you do it. It's all in how you do it. I mean, the Sarlacc. You can add in a lot of different things in there, but it's all in how you do it. And if you don't do it right, then it comes, like I said, it comes off cheesy. It just comes off like, oh, this is dry.
Like they did a good job, like the way they did Marvel from the original Iron Man to what we have now. It flows, right? It flows.
Mm.
Even though I don't agree with some of the stuff they're doing recently, it's in order. Like I said, I barely, I'm going to give the whole series probably like a 2.5.
You really get at a 2.5 out of 10?
2.5, because there was some stuff that I did like. I did like how they referenced back to the Clone Wars. I do not like that they fought each other. It was going to be the fight of the century. I didn't like the shaky cam because I was getting a headache watching. It's like this. Oh, here's Jedi. He's fighting. Everything was filmed in the dark, and if you know anything about watching special effects, and I could pull the references out for this. So if you paid money to do special effects, if you do it at nighttime, it's a lot easier than if you do special effects or CGI for a daytime, right? So it's budget thing. So like I remember Game of Thrones when they had that whole battle at nighttime. They saved so much money doing it at nighttime because we couldn't see shit. So you got somebody out there recording with their iPhone in a desert somewhere, bouncing around, right? And it's just, yeah. But I mean, I did. Hugh McGregor did a great job. I can't give him credit. He did a great job. His acting is pretty good. Even though I didn't think Leia should have been in it, that little girl was a better actress than freaking Reva.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I give a half a point because of Flea from Chili Peppers, because it's freaking Flea.
It's Flea. I like Flea. I think I said the first time. Yeah, I like Flea.
But everything else,
yeah.
It was painful to watch, and I was just
So
like,
you say 2.5 out of 10, or 2.5 out of 5? Oh, okay.
Out of 10. Out of 10. 2.5 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah. 2.5 out of 10. Well, I'm angling for that one, and it's mainly because the acting and the story. I'm gonna say the acting overall. I mean, Ewan McGregor, as much as I love him, he couldn't save that because the writing and the way they wrote him was terrible.
Yeah.
So I can't do that. Oh, what's they said? I don't get an extra point because Zach Braff is in it. No, that's probably why I give it a 1. But like I said, the writing, I don't like movies that's too convenient. Things happen because it's just so convenient. Like Reva getting back to Tatooine. How did she get to Tatooine that fast?
Oh my
How
God.
did
Yes.
how did Obi-Wan all of a sudden know, oh, I got to get to Tatooine real quick, and he gets there real fast? I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's just like it's too convenient. To me, that's lazy writing, and it's just like, to me, that overall that writing was terrible. What's the name? Moses Ingram. I've seen her in other stuff, and she is a good writer. That's
Good
one thing I
actor.
will say. I mean, she's a good actor. She's an actress because she's a woman, so I'll give her that. But she is good. I mean, I'll give her that. But for this role, this might not have been her role. The role for her. I mean, who knows? It just did.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. It was just too much. It was too much. She was over the top. She was. It just. The story, I mean, like I said, all of it. It didn't. The fight, having them fight and them dragging them through the fire when Vader could have just walked around the fire, and it just all that. It just didn't. It just didn't work for me.
It had two of his worst enemies, sand and fire.
I'm sorry. It just didn't. I mean, I really wish. It's almost, let me say it this way. It's like I heard somebody say this, and I say, you know what? That makes too much sense. It's almost like somebody started off with, hey, what would be cool if we had Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader fight, and they built a story around it. When that shouldn't be. That's not how you write.
It's called New Hope.
That's not how you start a story, though. You don't start with that one concept and then build a story around it. If they met each other, you could have kind of put that in there, but you should have built a story, and they did not do a very good job storytelling. That's all I'm saying. So that's why I give it a 1, at the most a 1.5. I mean, because it left me very disappointed. And does it have rewatchability to me? No. I don't want to watch it again. So when you add it to that, like today, I looked at I watched half of Iron Man. Because I love Tony Stark. Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark is awesome. When the guy says, is it cool I take a picture with you? He said, yes, it's very cool if you take a picture with me. And then when the guy goes up does this, he said, no gang signs. I mean, his ad libs in it is perfect. Perfect. So that is the rewatchability is what I look at that. Something I will sit back, rewatch it, and giggle off of it because of the comments and some of the things he say, how the movie goes, stuff like that. That makes me want to see it again. This, I don't want to see it again. I really don't. So I can't. I mean, I'm sad. I'm more disappointed than upset. I mean, I've heard rants. I've heard some people on YouTube that ranted and went off and stuff like that. But I'm not, it's no rant. I'm just disappointed that this is what you came up with. This is what you thought was good. That's my whole thing. So you have my thing. 1.5 tops.
Yeah, the thing is that I think when I rate stuff is, will you watch it again? Like, I will watch Mandalorian. I'll watch Mandalorian. Season of Mandalorian again. I won't watch Obi-Wan Kenobi again. I'll
watch Bad Batch. I watched Bad Batch twice.
Yeah,
I'll watch Bad Batch again.
Second go around because the next season's supposed to be coming out.
Yep. Yeah, I'll watch
again. If you watch twice, this is why I don't know if we're going to talk about it later, but this is why when something's good and then people learn from that. That's why The Thing was just as popular, top 10 movies so far this summer, and it only came out for a weekend celebrating its 40th anniversary.
Oh,
It's rewatchable. So it's Obi-Wan Kenobi, not rewatchable.
Not rewatchable.
Nope, not even a little bit.
My
Big
turn.
Tad, what you got, buddy?
So I'm not gonna rate it. Surprise. Star Wars. I think I said this a couple shows ago. Star Wars or I have passed each other by. It just isn't for me anymore. And the whole new. Oh yeah, haha. Um, the whole. And the thing is, Kathleen Kennedy seems to be the issue, and they're not going to ever get rid of Kathleen Kennedy because she's made like $7 billion for them. So she's the issue. They're never getting rid of her.
No.
It's sort of like the Batman when Batman and Robin came out. I think that's the first movie I ever walked out in.
The bat nipples.
The bat
Uh,
nipples.
it was multiple factors. Bane, Batman, and the Bat credit card. I think is what caused me to walk out of it.
Oh my God! Why'd you bring that up,
The
man?
bat
I'm
credit
angry.
card. The bat credit card.
But this was just it was poor writing throughout. I mean, New Hope was originally planned not to be like a bunch of sequels. So I don't mind that there's some discrepancies. I mean, I know, hey, how does Leia not remember Obi-Wan? Well, Jedi mind trick, I guess, is a cheap way to get around that. I I mean, the writing, like at the final duel between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, how does Obi-Wan get to from that planet to Tatooine when there's a Star Destroyer and he's not flying the Millennium Falcon? He's flying like some little dinky ship that came. It was like a pod ship. How does he get away from a Star Destroyer? It like I think it was like
Space
Patient
drifting.
Zero said, like it was a lot of convenience.
very
Riva gets
convenient.
Riva gets run through. The Grand Inquisitor gets run through. Qui Gon gets run through, and he's dead. Um, and I mean, they at least made it make sense. Like Darth Maul, I mean, he got cut in half, but they made him into a spider creature, and then like they did things with him afterwards that made sense. And like the fact that kids can run faster than adults, and I know people, Patient Zero says, hey, 10-year-olds are fast. Not one of them is fast. Like if you have multiple kids, yeah, then it's fast. So it's yeah, and Obi-Wan can fly, but it would have been kind of cool to see him escape from the Star Destroyer and something like that. Like, so it just would make sense. There's a lot of holes in the writing that just didn't make sense. Like, for example, the fire scene when Darth Vader is pretty much ripping Obi-Wan a new one. Or in the comics, Darth Vader actually walks through lava. His main headquarters is in Mustafar,
Mustafar.
which is a lava planet. So
That's
I'm
not
pretty
Kool-Aid?
sure.
That's not
So
Kool-Aid.
yeah, it's Kool-Aid. So it's hot
Oh,
Kool-Aid. So all that sort of, and I mean, I know I gave the last episode like 0.15 or something, but I can't rate this because it's just it wasn't. But I can't rate it because it's not for me. It's like Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel's not for me. This one, obviously, I know kids who like it, and that's great. I think I think the Star Wars franchise would be much better if Kathleen Kennedy is not involved. But the only way she's not going to get involved is if she doesn't make money for them, which
how
means the
does
only way
she?
you don't make.
How does she make money? Like Star Wars always comes with money already built in. Like as soon
So
as they said, "Hey, we're making a Star Wars movie," they made money. She didn't have to
so
do shit.
so Force Awakens made 2.6 or 2.06 billion dollars. Last Jedi, which was not the best one, made 1.3 billion. Skywalker, Rise of Skywalker make a billion. Solo was the only one that did not make a billion. It made 392 million. Rogue One made $1 billion. That is why she's in charge. They don't care how pissed off like the fans get. They care about the bottom line. And
How much
that's
money?
I mean, they spent a lot of money to get Star Wars, and they want to see. And Kathleen Kennedy so far she's made I don't know $6 billion. I mean, if you make $6 billion for someone, they're going to keep you, no matter how bad and how pissed off 3 fans are or 30 fans are, or like the Star Wars like original
Yeah, but
fan base. They
she
don't
all
care.
she does is make just say, "Here's a movie, and we'll put Star Wars on it, and now we'll make money." And it's
Exactly.
interesting because you said the movies made a lot of money, but Solo made shit. The reason why Solo made shit is because the other movies were shit. After people watched it, and they're like, "I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not paying to go to the movie theater." Like I didn't see
But
Solo
Solo was
but
terrible.
they
until
but they still but they
Terrible.
still but after Solo, guess what came out? The Return of Skywalker, and that made $1 billion. So something similar to what happened, like people have to stop watching it, and I don't think that will ever happen. So Kathleen Kennedy will be here for our lifetime, and we'll cry. I think the
I
only
feel
option is you stop consuming. But
I
that's
feel
never
like
going
we're
to
in an
happen.
abusive relationship. Do you guys feel that? Like you ever watch on Cops? Like I know he hits me all the time, but I just love him. I got to go back. I know he's gonna change. I know he's gonna change. Keep coming
It,
back and
it, it,
function
it,
in the
it,
kitchen.
I mean, I know a lot of people who enjoyed the series. I mean, a lot of them are younger. Some are our age, and they don't take it as seriously. And I think that's why I don't want to rewatch it. Um, I can't give it a rating because I just can't. Like, I think at the beginning when I watched the first episode, I didn't like it, and I think I gave it like a 0 because it wasn't. Normally, I watch the TV shows I watch. Like I watch the first episode. If it's good, then I watch the second one. If that's good, I watch the third one. But for this one, none of it was really good. It um it 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 just didn't get better. And I mean, I know one of my friends and I, we have like a 2 episode limit. Like if it sucks, like I remember Krypton. We use Krypton as an example.
Oh
Awful
goodness.
series. Awful series. We gave it 2 episode. It got worse and worse, and it was just like we're not wasting our time on it. And I think Star
Yeah.
Wars is sort of. I mean, I hope Andor is good. Um, I think it'd be kind of interesting to see if they do like this, the growing of the rebellion. But I mean, I kind of thought the same thing with Boba Fett. They would use Boba Fett kind of like they would do something like The Sopranos with Boba Fett, and I thought that would be kind of cool in the Star Wars universe. Obi-Wan, I thought, well, since we are all of us knew like Darth Vader would be involved, it's just like, well, maybe they'll just show their paths like parallel to one another, and it'll be like a
Yes.
western.
Yes.
Um, and I thought that would be a good series. Like Darth Vader thinks he's somewhere and he's not, and he kills like some. And I thought if they handled it that way, like there'd be like 2 ships passing in the night, and I thought that would be a much better storyline. I kind of wanted to see Darth Maul like in it as well because I thought that would be kind of cool because he hates both of them.
Oh, big
Um,
time.
Mhm.
so I thought that would have been an interesting way to do it. Um, I thought I didn't mind the Inquisitors as much. I thought they could have been. It would have been better. I think if Vader just treated them like crap all the time because he hates them or he
You don't
like
like
loathes
them.
them,
Yeah.
and like I thought that would have been better to explore that because like in the comics with Darth Vader, like he's constantly plotting against the Emperor. Like even 10 years since he's been Darth Vader, he's always plotting against the Emperor, and they're sort of they always showed that. And I thought showing Anakin as like a new version of Kylo Ren just wasn't. He's very methodical and he's very planned out. And I think after 10 years, he wouldn't be like that Anakin Skywalker that Obi-Wan's used to. And so
Yeah.
that's the part of the writing I didn't agree with. And I thought it it's sad to me when comic books are more well written than the movies or TV shows that we see. And I know, I get teased for being called Jay Sherman, but I mean, I'm consuming my money and my time in watching this crap. And that's sort of I'm fine with trying new things like Reacher, like Vox Machina, which I thought both of those shows were awesome. Um, I mean, one's animated and one's like live action, and I thought I mean, I don't know anything about Vox Machina. I'm sure people will tell me about Dungeons and Dragons, but it got me interested in like exploring that world. Obi-Wan, I have no desire to watch it. And I would say like after watching that, like you saw New Hope, and it's just sort of like I don't even know if I can watch Star Wars right now, just because it's so disappointing. Like, I I mean, I'll always be a Star Wars fan, but right now it's just sort of like it's like a jilted lover. Like you said, we're in an abusive relationship, and I think the abusive relation part comes from Kathleen Kennedy, and she's not going anywhere.
Has anybody checked on her husband? Because this could be a problem.
Frank Marshall. Well, I mean, they're doing Willow, Indiana Jones, and whatever the next 10 Star Wars movies and TV shows are, like Ahsoka, Andor. Like she's attached to all of them. So, I mean, I have faith in some of the directors, like the guy from Thor is doing one of the, but it might be a goofy Star Wars, but I mean, that might be fun to see. Um,
We'll talk about that when I have it because I don't really feel. No.
Yeah.
No, who's the comedian that was in Obi-Wan Kenobi? The one that was pretending to be a Jedi.
Zach, oh, he was in Eternals. I forget his name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
forget his name.
annoying as shit. Like his comedy felt out of place. It was like somebody, making an inappropriate joke at a work meeting. Like,
Well, that was part of the writing too. Like, so you abandoned Luke, and now you're abandoning Leia like 4 times. Like, where? And I also thought, like, well, according to New Hope, Luke and Leia don't really know that they're related, and you don't really figure that out until Empire Strikes Back. Like,
oh yeah, there's
Empire,
another one.
Yeah,
because when he flies away, there's another. So that means, or that implies, that Obi-Wan does not know about Leia. So Lucas kind of screwed around with the canon too, and I think that's sort of why I'm probably not as OCD about like what happens in New Hope, because I think Lucas didn't really plan on having sequels, and it just happened when the first one got made, and he made a ton of money from it.
Well, you made the comment about him not knowing about Leia. I think he did because Obi-Wan and Yoda were having that conversation.
But Yoda's the one that says, but
Yoda's like, well, there is another, and he's like, yeah, I didn't even think about that. But I don't feel like that. It's not bad that he knew from episode.
I mean, he could have forgotten it. I mean, it's been 30 years at that point since he's thought about
he's hitting
Leia.
Up that spice on Tatooine.
Yeah. I mean, he aged dramatically when he was on Tatooine. So,
yeah, it might have been spice.
I told you, why he aged. Like I tell you, you come down to Florida, you look at these ladies that go to the beach 24/7, look like a goddamn leathery handbag. It's like, how old are you? 60, 70? No, honey, I'm only 27. What?
You're making Leatherface getting happy right now. He's gonna take a drive down to Florida now.
I've been on Tatooine forever.
Tatooine,
skin.
Yeah, 2 suns. Look at all them UV rays that's coming through. Yeah.
And I mean, they have to wear the special glasses with like slots, cut in them. Yeah, I can't rate it. Sorry. I know that you two really want me to rate it, but yeah, I can't. I rather drink Tatooine moonshine I rather drink that than rate it. I hope Andor will be good. And I know people, I mean, I've been reading a lot of the comments about, how people have enjoyed it. And I try to figure out what they watched that I obviously didn't watch.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I mean, I've talked to some of them. It's sort of annoying. People are saying, well, you're not a true Star Wars fan if you didn't like Obi-Wan. It's just like, well, you're kind of doing the same thing. Like,
I don't like stuff like that.
Don't come at somebody like you don't understand. Somebody that's watched it when it came out, like we did, and then somebody that's in their 30s watching it versus somebody that's in their 40s and 20s and 16 watching it. Everybody's going to see it differently. So if you have a bad opinion about us giving shitty opinions, then you can go fucking kiss my ass, because this is how we see it. Go back in your echo chamber.
Right. And I explained to him, hey, the bad writing, this is what I saw. Like, based on what I've seen, like the fire scene with Vader dragging like Obi-Wan's ass all through the fire, and then all of a sudden Vader is afraid to walk through the fire when he's walked through like lava in the comics. The Star Destroyer, that those sort of creep up, the constant abandonment of Leia with no explanation, like, hey, I'm gonna leave you with complete strangers, with a con man, and then some lady who may or may not be a rebel. So to me, that was just it felt like it was lazy writing and it didn't offer much of an explanation. So, and then the Inquisitor Master Fortress having a video game like defense systems, like
No
swim down
shields.
and then swim up, and you'll be
It was.
perfectly fine.
I'm telling
It
you,
was
that
in
was
a video game, by the way.
it
It was
was
in a video game.
directly from the video game. It
It's
was directly
100%.
from Fallen Order. That is a
Deborah Chow copied off a lot. She copied off the video game. She copied off the broken mask from Rebels. Like,
well, they were saying, that's how he got the scar, like when Luke takes off the helmet.
two scars
So
on top of his head.
I thought that was,
Convenient.
convenient, but it's sort of like, yeah, that will serve. I mean, I think everyone saw that coming a mile away. So it was just sort of, it was sort of disappointing to watch and read, or not read, but just it. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
All too convenient.
Do you think there's anybody like at Disney that is critiquing it, or do you think they just all pat each other on the back up there, like you do nothing wrong?
Bunch of yes men.
Yeah, I think that's it.
No, Disney's like, look at all the money we're making. That's all Disney cares about.
What are you doing?
I mean, I know they're what. I had money. I was throwing money.
You flexing? You're flexing.
I know.
I may be flexing a little bit.
I was going.
It was like $10. Don't worry about it. It's $10, so that won't buy me.
Making it rain, baby. Yeah, making it rain.
I mean, Disney, I think that's why Kathleen Kennedy's still in charge. Well, I mean, if you looked at, I don't remember. I mean, they threw Solo, the two guys who did Solo, out. And those two were the ones that did Lego Batman, which I thought was awesome. I thought it was really fun. It was funny. It was good. They are also the same guys who did Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the first one, which I thought was incredibly well done. And I know someone was talking about like the multiple Spider-Man, and I think it's good to have different characters, especially seeing legacy characters, natural progression, like Peter Parker getting older, and I like seeing things like that.
I really think like if you stand back and look at everything that's come out since Disney bought Star Wars, and I think Kathleen Kennedy wants her version of Star Wars that she can have her name forever and ever, that she's not going to be relying on George Lucas and the legacy characters. So if you look at everything that came out, had the legacy characters, had the Star Wars name, but there was new characters. So she's going to have, Rey and Poe Dameron, right? And Finn and Reva and baby Leia and Mandalorian. Even with Solo, right? Solo, even though Solo is a legacy character, right? They had.
Well, she's using that as an excuse. She's using that as an excuse not to do the legacy. And I wouldn't mind seeing like.
I think it might have been too much
TV
about
show.
Solo. It might have been too much about Solo.
Yeah.
And that's why she fired those guys, and then she brings in Ron Howard, and he's got to do a bunch of rewrites and re-editing because it was basically done. Again, she wants something to put her name on it. She's just a greedy son of a bitch.
No,
well, she's made $7 billion.
Can I add one more thing? Because I'm gonna add this, and I'm gonna leave it at this. Because I hate when people say if you make a comment about something, then that means you hate it, type thing. You're not a real fan if you can't.
No, I hate it.
Good, and you can't. No, I'm just saying you're not a real fan if you can't speak or at least give some type of criticism on something. I mean, I'm gonna add this. I'm gonna add this to what you said a while back when you made the comment about being a sports fan. Just because, I mean, I've been a Philadelphia fan since I can remember, and I know, and there are times where I'm not too pleased with my teams. One of them or all of them, and just because I make my voice be known on what I'm not pleased with does not mean I'm no longer a fan of that team. It's just I'm just not happy with that team at this particular point. Just because, like you said before, we've watched Star Wars from the very beginning, and there are certain things that we're not too pleased with. Just because I make a comment on something that I'm not too happy with does not mean that I don't like it anymore. I'm not too pleased in what you're doing. I want you to do better. That's all. I hate the thing of I only can speak good about something. No, I shouldn't only have to speak good about something. I should be able to be honest if something's good or bad, one way or the other. So
So
I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm done.
I'll add something to that. Insanity is repeating the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And I think Kathleen Kennedy is part of the insanity part. Um, Maybe us consuming it nonstop and praying that we'll get, for every 8 crappy things that she gives us, we'll get 2 good things. Because obviously Obi-Wan wasn't good. Hopefully Andor will be better. Ahsoka, I don't know. I think it would be interesting to see it,
I like
but
Rosario Dawson.
They really can't screw that up because it's not affecting any timeline whatsoever. Right? It's
how much
already
do
there's
you
nothing.
how much do you want to bet they'll do something that will mess the whole whatever space-time continuum there? We'll need Sam Beckett to go back in time and fix stuff.
And fix something.
It's
Hey, we got a
and by,
Sam Beckett reference. Look at that. That's
You're
pretty
and by
bold.
good.
saying
I
by
know.
saying things like,
That's pretty good.
Star Wars or I have passed each other by, it doesn't mean like
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
yes, she is. I had to stop. It doesn't mean I'm done. I think I'm in the Batman and Robin phase, and I'm waiting for the Christian Bale, like Christopher Nolan, like the next best thing, and I don't see it happening with her. But I might get a Rogue One or the first season of The Mandalorian, and
I think it
it's
might happen.
possible.
Because you just made a good point there. Like we had, great Batman growing up, and then all of a sudden it had nipples, right? And you're just like, what the fuck? Now, then we get the Christian Bale Batman, and we're just like, wow, okay. Somebody's got to wake up. I think one of the things that people are forgetting is that they're not getting inspired by anything. Like if I was a writer, things that inspire me, because I watch movies all the time. Like I just watched Poltergeist the other day because I was like, why not?
Yeah.
Sit back, watch a movie, no matter what it is, and see what can I take away from this movie? What made me feel warm? Like for Poltergeist, right? When I was watching, I'm thinking I'm going to bring this up, right? There's
Warm.
parts in
He
Poltergeist
feels
that
warm.
makes you feel warm, like happy inside, even before the movie starts. Right? You have the goofy music going on. You got the guy riding down the street carrying the beers, and the kids out there playing with the remote control car. He spills his beer, right? And it's just so much going on. Like you meet everybody real quick. You meet the teenage girl, and the beer squirting in the kitchen. You meet the guys, and you see the dad. This is what I remember growing up watching. Everybody's watching football, and then the remote control battle between the two houses because the clickers on the same frequency, which used to happen, right? It was a big deal, and it felt right, just like on Jaws. One of the things that I love in Jaws is at the beginning when they're all going to the beach. There's no theme music. There's kids playing. There's people talking. He bounces between, I guess, beach chairs for groups of people. Talking about this, talking about that, and then in the back you hear the transistor radio and the music playing. Like if you were to close your eyes, you're saying, yes, this is what it feels like. Like it brought you into the movie. Take something that's like that and it brings you in. Like, of course, those are more based off of reality than sci-fi.
True.
But Star Wars is the same way. Like the conversations, the wishing, hey, I think, oh, Princess Leia is cool. Luke Skywalker's cool. Han Solo, scruffy head nerf herder. Like this is great. It's just there's something about the originals trilogy that you're just like, yes, this feels right.
Yep.
So what they need to do is take a look, and Kathleen Kennedy should do it because she produced a lot of those "It Feel Right" movies back in the day, like the original Back to the Future. Her dumbass name is all over it, but it's because And that's the other thing. She let them do their craft. Steven Spielberg, here's the money. Do your thing. That's how producers should go. Here's my money. It's like with Kevin Smith, right? If Kevin Smith is making Clerks 3, or he's making Mallrats 2 right now. If I was money and producer, I'd be like, here, Kevin, I like what you do. Keep doing it, right? Go, The only thing the producer has to say is like, well, maybe, the company wants to make sure it's a hour and 35-minute movie, and you're like at 3 hours now, Kevin, money stuff. Like, hey, we hire people, or maybe we're going to cut down on ordering lobster every day for craft services.
Yeah,
that's what a producer should do. Manage the money.
Isn't that why you put like the vision board together, and you already have the planned out in which you're, basically the things you're trying to hit within the flick, and everything is kind of worked out.
Yeah, because they do a script reading before they even do anything.
Yeah.
And they get excited. Oh, they would do that. Let's read that again. Because they got all the stars are sitting around the table and like, let's read that again. This is going to be cool. Or keep something a secret. It's going to be a home run like Darth Vader being Luke's godfather. He didn't tell anybody. Like Luke didn't even know till like a couple days.
No, what is that?
New characters, more money.
New characters,
more money. That's what Kathleen Kennedy is doing, because merchandising. She wants to I think they see how much money they're making. I mean, Star Wars. You just slap Star Wars in front of anything, it's going to make at least $400 million at worst case.
At the movies, yes, but if the movie sucks, you're not going to sell. Like I guarantee they're not going to. They already did it because they had a Reva doll or action figure. Nobody's going to buy that shit. Like the people that buy that shit are guys that want to keep it in the box, right? And if they don't like the show, they're not going to waste your money because they know if the show sucks, right? If they know the show sucks, that toy isn't going to be worth shit.
Again.
If the show sucks, the toy's not going to be worth shit. 20 years from now, you're going to see open boxes of Revas in a stack of toys at fucking Walmart.
No, it won't be in Walmart. It won't be in Walmart. It'll be in Ross.
Space Walmart.
It'll be in Ross. And it'll be $5 or $2 at Ross. Anyway, let's move on.
Some homeless guy panhandle is like, I lost all my money on Reva dolls. Can you give me 25 cents to get out of here for the bus?
Let's move on. I think we beat this horse until it can't be beat anymore. But we've all summed up that it's not watchable. We're not going to watch it again, unfortunately. And we'll be moving on to the next one. So let's move on. Obi-Wan. Yeah, bye Obi-Wan. Let's move on.
What's epidoid?
Oh, Lord, I gotta learn it. Let me get it. Oh, he got me.
Is that how Mike Tyson would say it?
Yeah,
epidoid. The easiest way to explain this is it's a superhero swinging party that has Homelander beat the living crap, or Homelander fight against
Huey.
Say it, Ted. Say it.
Homelander against I forget their name. Soldier Boy,
Huey, and Butcher.
Huey and Butler, and they're trying to kill him, and it's set during a swinger party around B-list superheroes. That's pretty much the story. So
and Soldier Boy started it like 50 years before then.
And the whole reason is Soldier Boy was pretty much sold out to the Russians by his former team, so he's hunting them all down because he wants to kill them.
And they're crispy critters.
I'm sorry, the more violence in that show, the happier I am at the end of the day.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody blows up every episode. Every episode, somebody just blows up.
The Boys, I tell you, The Boys, it's not for kids, right? So
no,
kids are watching this.
The comic is not made for kids. The story is not made for kids. It's not made for kids.
But if you're all jacked in the head like we are, you will enjoy the hell out of it because you never know what you're going to see.
Yeah, I just know it. Every week somebody's going to blow up.
Like a 20-foot prehensile front tail.
We going to
I
get
don't want to say it
canceled.
on YouTube. We're not going to get canceled.
We're going to get canceled.
But the dude opened up the door and gave everybody a hug with his tail that was prehensile, that was made of flesh.
We're going to get canceled.
We're not going to get canceled. I didn't say nothing wrong. Just saying, well, my only thing with the boys, like, I think this is one of the shows where they kind of pulled it out a little bit, and they're going to throw in, like, I think this episode and one more, right? Next Friday is the last episode of the season.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. They stacked it. They did the bookends. Like, oh, it's awesome, and it's awesome at the end.
Yeah.
Like, notice, like, the crazy shit went down in the first episode with the whole. Yeah,
They have new creative ways to kill people. Yeah,
but everybody blows up every week. That's all I'm saying. Somebody blows up every week. There's an explosion,
and it's getting juicy. Do you guys think they should kill off Homelander? Like, you think he's done? Like, should he die at the end?
No.
This is what I hope. This is what I hope, right? Because when Soldier Boy,
this is spoilers.
I'm not spoiling. No, this is what I'm hoping for. This is not spoilers. So when Soldier Boy hit, what's that girl's name? The girl didn't get her powers back, right? She didn't get her powers back, and I think it has something to do with the radiation, like, shooting out of his chest.
Yeah.
I hope this is what I think would be cream of the crop. Is they fight Homelander, he sets that shit off. Homelander doesn't die, but he's 100% normal. So he's got to live his rest of his life not having any superpowers, and everybody hating on his freaking ass. Like he's done. Like, he's going to be poor.
No.
Keep him alive, but let him suffer.
No.
Keep him alive and let him suffer. I don't think they should kill him.
If let's say he loses a little bit of his power and he has to take Compound V in order to get the full gist of it back, but it's killing him every time he takes it.
Then you got
little by little. Little by little.
Is done. Next season should not be about Homelander. We've had 3 seasons about this dude. Unless the next season is about him 100% losing his shit.
That's pretty much the comic book, though. It's all about it's Homelander and Butcher. That's pretty much what this. It's
we're already
from
past what's on the comic book. We're past that. The comic book graphic novel is season 1.
Not totally. They're still taking aspects from it.
They're definitely. Soldier Boy is not what he was in the comic books. That's already, he's different from the comic books. Because in the comic books, their hero Gasman is completely different than this one. It's all the heroes participating in that. And Soldier Boy and Homelander, do the deed. And Soldier Boy is constantly asking, does this make me, homosexual? But they did not take that approach with him. He's more like Captain America, power with like Captain America. So, but in this, he's on par with Homelander.
Yeah, he's more like Captain America and Winter Soldier mixed together.
Well, that power he's got's new.
Yeah,
that part's new. But Homelander can kill him in the comics. Homelander can pretty much kill everyone in the comics.
Even in this, you can tell Homelander could have beat him. If it was 1-on-1, Homelander could have beat him.
They almost had him, though.
But Homelander is also...
It took 3 of them, though.
But, Homelander also... Soldier Boy was... he wasn't quite even, but he was much more evenly matched against Homelander than in the comics. Comics, he would have been killed like that.
Yeah.
Or instantly.
Yeah.
Plus, there's one character who we won't reveal who actually is Homelander's like true enemy, and it's not Butcher. Ooh, secret. And I think that's why maybe they do that part of the series now, and then they can go to next year and have like a new type of villain. I don't know. Or make his true enemy like the villain for next season, but it's interesting. I don't know if they'll do that. but the comic book series is all sorts of messed up. Is all you
very
can
much
say.
so. Very much so.
Garth Ennis is a
I just think
very
it's fun to watch. It is a fun, like you never know what you're gonna see. Like
You don't.
literally your superpower is a big dong. That's it.
See, you just had to go back.
I had to say it
We're gonna get canceled.
because I was thinking yesterday, like, what would I do if I had that superpower?
Oh, we're gonna get
I
canceled.
wouldn't get up. All you'd see was like, and then a drink come into the picture.
Oh, we're gonna get canceled.
You know, it's
On
something
that
like that.
note,
You
the
can
show will end
drive by
tonight.
yourself. You can drive by yourself in the HOV lane, right? You just put it in the passenger side, throw a wig on it, the seatbelt. You just like, come
Oh
on,
my
nobody puts the
goodness.
clothes. Have it waving out the window with one good eye. That's all.
Next topic.
PG-13.
Next
There's
topic.
no way.
Next topic.
There's no
I
way.
know
Next
we gotta
topic.
take
Next
Bill off
topic.
of this because
Next
Bill
topic.
won't leave it.
Next topic.
All he's saying is,
This show would have been perfect for the boat.
Next topic.
"Oh yeah, it would have been a boat. That would have been a boat.
Move it up.
Yeah, we
Let's go
definitely would
to
have
next epidoid.
been." All right, so let's go. Let's move on to open topics, but we're not going back to what Bill keeps going back to.
Favorite superpower from the boys. Go.
No, I'm not going back to the
They
boys.
have to have a fourth window. It would dial itself in.
Oh my goodness! Oh, we're gonna get canceled.
You can't get, man. It's fun.
Oh, that was funny though. That was. Oh my goodness! But anyway, real quick, I posted something on Facebook real quick on the other day, and it was really basically I put it on our site on Facebook, and y'all are all welcome to take a look at it and to chime in. And it was really a joke because it was saying like unpopular opinion, Star Trek is better than Star Wars. And I was just like, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not touching that topic because I know for some people it gets pretty deep, especially when they dig deeper into Star Trek. But I left it alone. So I want to know your opinions on the differences between Star Trek and Star Wars.
I don't really care. Like if you look, I think it's cool that you like Star Trek, but I think a lot of people that like Star Trek will also like Star Wars.
Really?
Like I have my friend Steven, if he ever watches this, I'm going to tag you in on it. He's a heavy Star Trek guy. But we can have that conversation, right? And he also likes Star Wars, so we can bounce in my conversation. Now, fan-wise, I think Star Trek fans are a lot different than Star Wars fans. I think they're more extreme. But you realize, like, it's amazing that there's Star Trek fans out there because, like, how many seasons? It was only what 3 or 4 seasons that it was originally on in the 60s, and they went off, and then they brought it back in the 70s and 80s
for the movie. Yeah.
Well, they bought it. They had the original series on TV again. Like I've said before, like, was it like Pavlov's dog? Like it used to come on about 5 o'clock in the evening. And when you hear the theme song, it's usually, dinner's getting cooked. So now if I hear the freaking theme song,
you get hungry.
My stomach starts going. Yeah, I mean, the movies, the original Star Trek series, fun to watch. The movies is fun to watch. The new stuff, I really couldn't get into it. I tried it. They're kind of doing the same thing that Disney's doing to Star Wars, in my opinion. But we'll leave that for another day. I don't want to go down that freaking rabbit hole.
We've already been down that hole.
But but Star Trek has inspired a lot of other things. Like so is Star Wars. Like it's both of them, man. I think personally, I if I had to choose, I'll take Star Wars over Star Trek. I think it all depends on who you are.
All right. Well, I've heard it said this way, and I say, it kind of makes sense. Where someone made the comment of Star Trek being like the symphony, and Star Wars being more like rock and roll. And I said, I can see that
a little bit.
I can see it.
I would say Star Wars is more the mythical, and Star Trek is more the scientific. That's I've heard that.
Practical,
I
yeah.
think college humor did like some funny thing where Star Wars and Star Trek fought each other, and it was sort of funny. Like they just showed like the different characters and what they do, like Vader going, boring, and we have, and then
Oh,
Star Trek making fun of like the lightsabers and saying nothing you have like is scientific. Like you have, the Force. I would say both fans are pretty much in the same boat right now. That the current entertainment for the franchises is not very great right now. So we both probably are similar in that aspect. I've always, like Bill said, I like both. Uh, I mean, I think the J.J. Abrams movies, I mean, they were okay, not great, but
he kind of ruined those too.
yeah. But I like Warehouse 13 and Eureka. Those were awesome, but they
I
were
did.
definitely.
I did like Warehouse 13. I went back
And,
to the
Yeah,
beginning and started watching that again.
and Eureka, I think, was an awesome show.
Yeah.
yeah. It'd be cool. You know what I wouldn't mind seeing? Like a like who would win? Straight up Star Wars versus Star Trek. So you get all the ships and everything in Star Trek versus all the ship and everything in Star Wars, including the Death Star, including the Super Star Destroyer. And I think Star Trek would get his ass kicked though because they
Oh,
don't have
definitely.
they don't
I
have
don't.
smaller ships. I
They
I
think
don't
think
have the
Star
wave
Trek.
motion gun.
I would change that a little bit. I would say Star Trek would probably win in space, but on the ground, Star Wars would win because Star Trek, they can't beat the Sith, the Jedi, because the Jedi
yeah,
would tear through them, and the
but the Jedi
Wookiees.
would be flying in space though. I'm thinking
No,
because they
no, no.
don't
I'm
have like
talking about on
there's
the
not.
ground. I'm
Oh,
talking
I know,
about
but
on the ground.
on the ground definitely because there's nothing like they would Star Trek Earth and you joke with them ATs, like on Hoth, they wouldn't know what to do. They just what son? I don't know.
Well, I'm also thinking of the Borg too for Star Trek. I think
Ooh,
the Borg
yeah.
they would whoop up on Star Wars.
I don't
They could
think
take
so.
out a
Well,
lot. I mean, they could
here's
because Star Wars doesn't have like the firepower that some Star like the Death Star definitely does. So the Death Star would be a problem, but the other ships, like the little ships, would have problems. And as they illustrated with Star, like in that thing, the Death Star has this stupid dumb like weakness. It's this little hole that you shoot through and it blows up.
You
Um,
gotta make sure you
like
jump shot it
so,
perfectly.
Toby.
there's so I want to say one. It's I have an analogy, but you two aren't gonna. It's like Army Navy. Like Army's gonna win the land battle, and Navy's gonna win the sea battle.
But the
It,
Navy's on the land too.
and with the Marines, the SEALs.
Yeah, we have
That
SEALs
was a
and
dumb. I
Marines.
just go away.
Yeah,
No,
bad
Well,
analogy.
no bad
It
but
didn't
analogy.
work.
Navy
It didn't
SEAls
work.
aren't. But Navy SEAls don't have like a platoon. Navy SEAls are like,
But the Marines do.
Yeah, the Marines do.
okay, the Marines and the
And
Army would win the land battle,
Marines also
whatever.
have force recon.
But the land battle would be won by a certain group and not the other group. Like Star Trek, I think is better suited for space than Star
Hey,
Wars.
just to go back, your whole little team would be sitting on the land while they got destroyed with tomahawks. Done. Oh, sorry. Hold on. There's a Trident nuclear missile submarine. Done. Land and sea.
That's
Done.
it.
We win. Carry on.
Parking lot.
Anchors
Parking lot.
away. Done.
Yeah, let's see their shorts again.
And by the way, if you're gonna go by force powers like Darth Vader, the Borg ship would come up all cubey and shit. Darth Vader would just
So now we know like where they sit. They're with Star Wars. I think Star Wars can definitely. Vader has never used his powers in space, like on something that big. So no, it doesn't
the
work.
Emperor has.
On what?
The Emperor used to have battle meditation and control the whole empire. That's why it
What
fell
movie?
apart right after he died.
What movie? What movie?
This is based off of everything.
What movie?
Read. It's not
What
based off the
movie?
movie.
What movie?
Why are
No,
we
we're
basing
basing
off
this
a
off
movie?
movie.
You didn't
Because
say
we
that at
don't
the
know
I
beginning.
mean, you're only
what
sticking to the movies, none of the books.
none of the what books are canon.
This is our rules.
Oh,
This ain't Disney rules.
So we're
Yeah.
changing
All
rules.
things are canon with ours. Like, all
Oh,
Timothy
okay,
Don's book.
okay. You didn't say that.
Can
You
we do
did
video
include
games
every
too?
single thing.
I think somebody really likes Star Trek.
That's what that
You
sounds
see,
like.
I think
I don't.
like
I
see,
don't like
the
either.
whole enterprise would get destroyed.
Both of them. Both of them have passed me by, and I don't care really. I would say I
Oh,
think it's
you're making me
land.
sad. Stop with the passing by, man. It's coming back. We can still have fun talking about it. This would be. I really think I think there should be a poll. Let's ask everybody in the goddamn world on Twitter who would win.
Okay,
Passing me
Epidoid.
by.
Hey, look, it's Epidoid. Epidoid's trying to tease me about Jay Sherman. Oh, Epidoid. Hey, Mike. Epidoid. What's it, Epidoid?
We're getting it. But like I said, I think Star Wars would definitely win. I can understand your land and sea battle thing, but
I mean, Jedis will be flying in their own. So every Jedi that's in the first trilogy, flying in their Jedi ships, could win.
Okay, if you say so.
I mean, look, think about it. If you let's just say if you take the Enterprise, right, flying out there by himself, they got the cool little lasers going against a Star Destroyer, right? The one thing that the Star Destroyer has that the Enterprise doesn't is smaller fighters.
It's TIE fighters. Yep.
So they could be like wasted in, and then the TIE fighters come out with TIE interceptors and TIE bombers.
But you're only including. You said all Star Trek. You're missing. You missed the Borg. You missed the Klingon ships. You missed the Romulans. You missed like all those ships. So you missed like the movie where they had the big reactor thing that what's his name, Eric Bana was driving. So you're missing like all those ships. So I just feel like Star Trek would win, like in space, and they would get absolutely decimated. They would all be red shirts on the ground.
Well,
Like
you're missing
every single
everything
one
from the Empire, the Rebels, the Black Sun, the Hutts.
Okay, I mean Star Trek has the same things.
I think I do love them both. I just think Star Trek are kind of squishy. They're kind of squishy. Like they would see, oh shit, that's the Death. The Death Star could just show up, blow the fuck up out of any planet. Oh, look, Romulan's good. Planet's gone, Romula. Boom. Earth gone. There you go. Where's your fleet now? Gone. Oh, you blew this Death Star? We got another one. It's bigger. And it's operational. Gone.
Didn't Star Trek didn't they blow up like Spock's planet? Yeah, they did.
Gone.
Yeah, gone. So that ship could blow up like everything else because they redid the timeline.
Star Trek got his ass beat by a freaking guy named Khan with one missile. They're too worried about going back in time and saving the goddamn whales. They would just get force choked. They would just line them up.
Wow,
We'll go back in time.
All right, let's look at a good question.
The Skywalker 9 and Uwe negate. No, he's a clone. It's not a problem. Yeah. It was poorly written, but it's not a problem because they established clones.
Yeah. Well, he was if you think he's a clone, that's a good theory. I tell you, my theory was, I tell you with the Force Veil, right? We talked about the Force Veil that was in Star Wars Rebels, where Ezra was able to walk through from the Jedi Temple and see each pivotal moment in Star Wars, and that's where he was able to pull Ahsoka out from fighting Darth Vader into reality back into his time. So the Emperor had control of that Force Veil, and I think when he was throwing down the chute on the Death Star, he went into the Force Veil and just kind of stayed there till he was able to get out, and that's why he's all jacked up. That's my theory. But
the Skywalker one or the Jedi one? Does Dart
Don't
or
know.
Pelagius is the clone? Well, Snoke is his like clone too, or not his clone, but he's like a psychic vampire, so he just goes from body to body, which I thought was poor writing because I thought Snoke. It would have been interesting if Snoke was something else altogether and not Darth Sidious's clone or whatever the hell he was.
He could have
Yeah.
been just a Sith because they're good
He
at
just
keeping secrets. Those
made it.
guys.
Yeah, he made
I
Sidious.
I
He
wanted
made
Snoke,
Snoke.
but Snoke I thought was just a wasted opportunity by the writers that they could have made him something outside the Sith and whatever else, like make him a different type of threat. So I thought that was poorly done.
100%.
Yeah, that whole thing was poorly done.
Again, just lazy writing.
So when the Sith is supposed to have been defeated in the saga,
He defeated Sith. He threw Sith or whatever his name, the Emperor off Palpatine. He threw him into the core.
Yeah, so
which
Anakin
was
could have been the chosen one the whole time because as soon as he killed Palpatine in Return of the Jedi, that moment he brought balance to the Force. It's just that prophecy took a long ass time. I mean, was Luke the chosen one? I mean, maybe Luke could be the chosen one because he was able to make Darth Vader kind of come back to being from evil when he was getting shocked. And then, like, you know, the original trilogy or the new one trilogy that George Lucas already had written was going to write it in the way that the actual prophecy was Princess Leia. Because if they would have went by his story that he already had written, the trilogy it was going to be about the building of the rebellion and the Empire coming back. Probably would have had Grand Admiral Thrawn in it. And Leia, even though the rebellion was turned into New Republic, was having some issues because, you know, politicians are so goddamn cool and trustworthy. She was fighting that shit. And she was able to bring balance to the Force, not by being a Jedi or anything, just by being her. So Luke wasn't, you know, it would have been found out that Luke wasn't he was a hero, but it would have been Leia who brought balance to the Force.
I'm liking Whisper more and more.
So, to your opinion, to your point, Darth Bill, thank you. I like the name. You can argue Vader fulfilled the prophecy by bringing balance to the Force via reducing the numbers of Jedi closer to the Sith. I guess so. Yeah, I mean,
guess so.
If Vader was fulfilling his prophecy, and by throwing, you know, in the end, throwing the Emperor down there and fulfilling his prophecy to bring balance to the Force, everything he did up to that was fake. It was already determined that he was going to go bad and kill all the Jedi, and he should have killed Reva, but
she wasn't Jedi.
But he did twice.
He missed. He screwed up twice. Like, I'm gonna stab her in the same spot she should survive from. Should have been, yeah. But again, I like that's what's cool about the Star Wars story and the way George Lucas wrote it is that it does leave a little interpretation over it, so you can have discussions like this.
Yep, that's true. That's true. All right. Anything else? Anything else?
No, I'm good. I had fun. It was good, man. Thanks for joining us and chatting with us.
Yeah.
Give Whisper another shout out.
Yeah, because Whisper's cool. I like somebody that brings up good, good deep questions and, things that make you think. And Whisper's still going at it.
To your point, it took a long time for Phil. Could have taken place between 3 and 4. Yoda even said in 3 they could have misread the prophecy. Right. Because some people believe. I mean, this is an interesting topic too, because there was Jedi who believed in the prophecy, right? There was Jedi who didn't believe in the prophecy, like who just thought it was crazy. I think Yoda was on the fence. Mace Windu was like, "Nah, it's bullshit." Well, Mace Windu wasn't playing. Again, I mean, that's another good story. I think they could touch up on, because even with the Jedi, they were split. Some of them wanted to fight. Some of them were like, "This ain't what we're supposed to be doing."
Dooku was in on the prophecy, but he was trying to force it.
He believed it, but he also didn't want to go down the same road the Jedi were going down. And that's why he bailed.
Yeah, because he was upset with the Jedi Council. He didn't like how they were conducting business.
So was Sifo-Dyas.
Yeah, and
right? The guy who made
Qui-Gon.
the clones. And
Qui-Gon
so
was getting
Qui-Gon,
tired of him. Yep.
I guarantee I mean, I don't guarantee it, but if Qui-Gon didn't get killed, maybe he would have bailed from the order anyway.
Yeah. Said the Duke. Now say that again. The Dooku know saying Palpatine was
Palpy.
Sidious. Palpy.
Well, okay, so interesting question. I would say yes, he knew in episode 3, right? So, and I don't know if you've read it, but I recommend Darth Plagueis the Wise because it does explain, because it's closer to the end of the book, right? Because this takes place. So, if you can kind of imagine when episode 1 was happening, when the Trade Federation started their shit, this is when Palpatine started, and it was Palpatine and Darth Sidious, or excuse me, Palpatine and Darth Plagueis. Palpatine's
Plagueis.
Plagueis, it was his master. They started setting this up, right? At that time, Count Dooku was still in the Jedi Order, but there's times where Palpatine playing as the Senator, talking to Sidious, or excuse me, talking to Count Dooku, who was Dooku at the time, and kind of feed it into him, like, you're right, you're right. So when he left the order, he realized like he had the rights to his planet that he was from. He, it was he got taken to the Jedi as a young child. His brother got to stay there, right? In the Dooku history. Then he left the Jedi Order because he didn't want to deal with that stuff. Goes back to his home planet, kills his brother, and becomes a count in the whole. He's in charge of his whole planet. And then that time he's powerful with the Force. Palpatine starts picking up on it after Darth Plagueis is killed, and after his other apprentice with Darth Maul was killed. He didn't have any apprentices then. So somewhere between episodes 1 and 2, because 2 he was already working for Darth Plagueis, or excuse me, Darth Sidious.
Sidious.
So he knew he was out of Jedi Order, and he probably called him up. He's like, "Hey, Duke, what's up? Why don't you come meet me?"
Yeah, I got an opening.
Final question. Was it in the Star Wars to make a story about Palpatine and Plagueis rather than Rey and Skywalker? Again, I don't know that answer because when Kathleen Kennedy and they bought Disney, she was quoted in Rolling Stones as not using any of the books and comic books and video games as canon, and they were going to start on their own. It would have been cool to see a flick like that, or even a series. That would be great now.
Yeah.
To see that would be a great
Plagueis.
Goddamn series, because you would get a new character, right? Actually, if you look at Darth Plagueis was part of like the Money Clan. Those are the bankers. They had the long faces. To have him in there because he was playing both roles. He was part of the banking clan and playing the undercover freaking Sith. And you can go in there and how he found Palpatine. Like he sensed him. It's like this guy's got some tendencies. He's got some Sith tendencies.
Mm-hmm. And then you can even get into how he spread his love throughout the galaxy, and and then
that was my theory, right?
Yeah, how he kind of
telling you, read that book, man. That's freaking. You'll be like, wait a second. He was using his Force, and the other thing is, Darth Plagueis was playing Frankenstein. He was trying to actually keep things alive. So he would catch Jedi off guard, young Jedi off guard, and not kill him, but bring him back to his lab and test on him. It was dark.
This is almost set up. Said when Palpy enticed Anakin to create that story about Plagueis, just as Ben set up in New Hope when he told Luke about his father.
Very similar to that.
Yeah, in a way, it's similar. I mean, he used, unfortunately, I think right at the time that he was telling him that story, he just killed Plagueis when he was telling him that story about Darth Plagueis the Wise.
It was pretty close. I would say Darth Plagueis probably died right before episode 1.
You think it was right before 1?
Yeah, because in the book, he's actually training up Darth Sidious is training up Darth Maul. Like Darth Maul was a baby when he got him, right? So somewhere between, like at the beginning of episode 1 is when Darth Sidious killed Darth Plagueis. And he was already messed up. Dude had assassins going after him and everything. So he ended up looking pretty cool at the hit a breather. Ah, man, that'd be such a great freaking
That's the
story.
sad thing about being a Sith, man.
You know somebody's going to come up and take your place.
You always got to look over your shoulder. And it's the guy that's right beside you.
Like, I don't want an LPO. You know, you're good.
He's gonna bump me off, man.
Kill your way to the top.
Darth Jar Jar.
Darth Jar Jar. That's my other thing. Before we go, I think Jar Jar is the cause of all this because Princess Leia, or Queen Padme or Senator Padme, was off planet with Anakin and Obi-Wan at the time when they voted in a no confidence and they got Palpatine in where he created the Clone War. Yep. And the final vote came from Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar.
Like, hate him and all you want, but that dude just screwed up the whole goddamn universe. Meets a vote.
Yeah. And then according to this Obi-Wan Kenobi series, Obi-Wan also screwed everything up too. Because he beat Darth Vader and then he just walked away.
No, stop. We're done. Oh,
I beat him. Peace, Darth.
Post it on Facebook. But you know what? It's a good point. Like maybe Palpatine, because he was manipulating everybody from the beginning, which I think is a great, freaking awesome. But maybe he set up Jar Jar.
Yep. See, so that's the thing. It's a lot of stuff out there where you can make a story, but unfortunately, that's not the angle that they keep going to.
Yeah, Palpatine was the senator on Naboo, so he knows about the Gungans. And he probably knows about dumbass Jar Jar. He's like, oh, this is going to be great.
This guy.
This is a good discussion. I do love the going deep into Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
I think Tad's frozen or he's just really still.
Nah, he's moving.
I can't see. I'm like a T-Rex. He stopped moving. I can't see anything. Oh, there he goes. I see him.
There you go.
Don't move. If you don't move, Bill won't see you. It's like a T-Rex.
Well, on that note, man, closing comments.
That's it. Love you guys. Get on there. Start liking us, man. This is great. Get some more people involved. I like to get more people on here live. And maybe down in the comments, not on the chat, or where we at over here on the chat, but down in the comments, maybe we talk about when would you want to see the show? Is Sunday at 8 good? Should we do it Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays? Should we get up at 4 in the morning?
4 in the morning?
Get up 4 in the morning and have a coffee with nerds.
I already had my coffee. We're good.
Maybe we can start talking about some other things like books. What books are we reading right now?
Well, like I said, I had to go back and do the Obi-Wan book. I wanted to do that, so I could at least have some.
I recommend going out there.
So I went back to it, and I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. A lot of stuff I read it, but I think when I read it, I just kind of blew through it. This time I actually listened to the audiobook and it kind of put it back in my memory on a lot of stuff. Thought it was kind of neat.
And Star Wars audiobooks are the best because I know when I read a Star Wars book, it's hard. Like you try to put the voices in your head and the sound effects. And when you already got voices in your head, it gets a lot of confused up there, So with with the Star Wars audiobooks, you can hear the lightsaber ignite. You can hear the theme music and the ambient noise from the starships and the TIE fighters and Darth Vader's voice and Yoda's voice. And it just brings it more. It's almost have a movie in your head.
Yeah, especially if you have somebody that's good that's doing it. Yeah.
And I got a problem sometimes when I read. I'm going in and something will pop up in the back of my head. Something about work or like, hey, remember that time in the 5th grade when you pulled that girl's hair? And then that's what I'm thinking about. But my eyes keep reading. I'm like a half or 2 pages in. I'm like, I don't remember what I just wrote.
Yeah, what did I just read again?
God damn brain, crazy, throwing me curveballs. No, but the audiobooks is cool.
Yeah. Remember in the movie Inside Out, they said that's a memory just popping. They just throwing that memory back up to mess you up.
Yeah. And of course, my memory's in a Rolodex right now. It's like, okay. You peed your bed till you were 7. No. I did. God damn
it. So I thought I got over that. No.
Oh, as I'm peeing the bed now. Oh, it's so warm. It's so warm. Hey, you know what we'll do next week? Let's. I'm gonna give a good list of my favorite audiobooks because I drive an hour to work when I go to Mayport, and I always listen to my audiobooks. You know, I'll make a list of audiobooks.
Okay.
That you guys can enjoy.
Do that. You know, give some recommendations for people to listen to a few things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your penthouse.
No.
Not those. No, stop. Not cool.
On that note, any other closing comments? You got anything there? What was that Chronos?
Chronos?
You'll have to look it up. Epidoid.
Epidoid? Okay.
You're the one that misspelled it.
I know I misspelled it. I was typing fast.
You guys passed it.
I was typing fast. But like I said, any other comments? No comments? Again, we always thank you guys for listening in. I always say like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, this is fun.
Join in. Yeah, join in. Basically, you just listen to a conversation between 3 old dudes.
You just do it on here instead of the phone.
Yeah, same conversation we have.
But unfortunately, I have to get dressed for this.
I'm leaving that alone. We're not even going there. You're going back to the hero-gasm thing. See you guys next week, man. See you guys next week. But like I said, like, comment, subscribe, join in. We need some more subscribers. I'm trying to get to 100 on Facebook. I mean, on YouTube. Yeah, I'm trying to get to 100 on YouTube. We're at 71, man. Help us out. Have a good one. See you next week.